everybody, I'm with Randy at the Logi Customer Experience Centre in London, and we're going to unbox the MeetUp 2, and I'm going to try and keep count of how many features it has, because it's pretty insane.
Yeah, you might remember the last video that we did together in the back of a car where I was talking about all the features and that. So
I mentioned on LinkedIn we were recording and someone was like, is it in the back of a race car?
Exactly. Sadly not this time, but it's still pretty cool anyway. Yeah, so you know me from Ditch the Box. I've usually ditched the box. I actually put this back in the box just so I could unbox it. But what you can see here, we've got the lid here has all the instructions, so we don't have like an instruction pamphlet or anything that comes with it. It's just printed in there. Obviously there's a QR code so you can get out the instructions and stuff as well. In the box, pretty simple. You got the device. This one's wrapped in plastic, but the newer versions will be wrapped in paper. It's recycled plastic anyway. And then we've got another box here that actually has some other stuff in it. I'm just gonna ditch that box for now.
And so this is a successor to the original MeetUp. So this is BYOD, but it has a whole bunch of tricks, network connected, splash screen.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the device. And then, you know, nothing particularly exciting here other than a power cable. Obviously you need power, a USB cable, and the actual mounting bracket is already attached. It's something you can't actually detach. Then we've got cable management on it.
Oh, interesting. So that's directly attached to the unit. So that's why I'd wall mount this piece and click on here, no?
Nope.
Okay, tell me how it works.
Yeah. So this is just a cable management thing. So if you look at the back of a Rally Bar Mini, we have a similar kind of mounting thing. Rally Bar Mini has a couple of thumb screws to actually cover the cables, so you can't yank them out and do something malicious. So this is just a cover that covers the back, and it kind of clips in place. All the ports are over here, which I've shown you in another video that I did. But the actual mounting bracket is attached to the bottom. So it's a multi-mount. So similar to the Huddle, but a lot different.
You fold it out, clever.
Yeah, so you basically fold it out and you kind of origami it into a solution you want. So if you want to wall mount it, then you can screw that to the wall and then just put it on the wall. It's also got this nice big slot here. That's actually for retrofitting on the original MeetUps, either wall mount or TV mount solution. So you could mount that above or below the display on the Visa mounts on the back of your screen. And this just clips in.
Nice.
So if you have a MeetUp 1 and you want to replace it with MeetUp 2, you could just swap it out. Just do the cables.
And what have we got port-wise? So we've got HDMI to the screen.
Yep. So if you look at MeetUp 1 was just a USB bar. So it needed power, and it had a USB connection, and it had some microphone connections because the microphone's on board for something 7 years old. We were kind of limited by the technology that we could shove in the thing. And it was the first AV soundbar, so we could only do so much. With this, we've actually got HDMI out to the screen, but we've also got HDMI in to the device itself, which means you can use this to actually share your laptop screen onto the front of room display, all with that HDMI cable.
So that's not to share into a meeting, that's just I want to use the big screen when I'm in person.
So if you're in BYOD mode and you want to share your content and actually maybe even the meeting, stage, if you like, move the Teams app, drag it over to the display in the front, or actually put it on your laptop.
Have it as a monitor, essentially.
Yeah, it's basically having it as a front of room, version of your laptop screen for that, Teams meeting or whatever it is you're going to use for BYOD. Yeah. It's also got a USB-C port, and that's again for the BYOD. So obviously you want to plug the USB into your laptop to be able to borrow the camera mic and speakers from the bar itself.
And that will push display as well, won't it? So
well no. So there's a couple of differences. So the standard USB that comes with the device, it's a 3 meter just standard USB-C cable. Obviously Logi, it's nothing proprietary in there, but it's a Logi device.
Yeah.
But it isn't an active cable. It's just a standard USB-C, USB 3 cable. If you want to do 2 cable BYOD, you need an HDMI cable. So I've got one here. It doesn't really matter whose. We don't include it in the box, but you just need an HDMI cable. So you could do USB-C and HDMI into your laptop. Yeah. 2 cable BYOD. If you're sitting super close to the device, that works absolutely fine. But we've also got an accessory, and I've got one in a box here and then one unboxed here. This is a 5 meter active USB cable, which supports DisplayLink alt mode. So that's the kind of the new way of doing things.
So that's your one cable BYOD style.
Your one
you
cable. So for that, you don't need HDMI. You don't need the other USB cable. You just need this one cable, and you plug the purple end into your laptop, this into the bar,
Nice.
and then it pushes the display and also borrows the camera mic and speakers.
What's
in a
that
single
part?
cable.
That's
Yeah, so it's called the active USB cable. It's an accessory that you buy on the side of that. Deliberately haven't included in the box because we wanted to keep the price point of the Meetup 2 down as much as possible.
And that's $850 the Meetup 2.
Yeah, so the list price $849.
Yeah.
It's if you look at the Meetup 1, the list price originally when it launched 7 years ago was $999. And the list price for the Meetup 1 now is $750. So this is $100 more, sorry, £100 more than the original Meetup 7 years later. In terms of features, it's almost no comparison, really. I mean, the way I kind of describe this to customers, if you know our solutions, we've got the Rally Bar Mini, Rally Bar Huddle launched last year. This is a non-appliance version of the Rally Bar Huddle. So it's the same camera effectively.
Yeah.
So it's behind a manual shutter. So you got a little manual shutter. So again, try to keep the price point. Put robots and kind of actuators and things to do an automatic lens cover. So put something manual in. Obviously, it's always looking at the room if you keep the shutter open. So if you've got hooked up to a platform like maybe Teams eventually, and maybe we'll do things like people counting and those sort of things. The actual mounting bracket is actually included in the box. With the original Meetup, it was just a little wall mount.
Yeah,
just
you've got a threaded mount here as well, which I like as well. That's
so you can put that on a tripod or a camera mount or something like that. You can wall mount it, and you can also flip it around and flip this.
We're testing you now.
Yeah, testing it all now. And then you've got this other thing here that kind of clips that in there, and you can actually use it on top of a display.
Oh, it's a display mount. Cool.
Yeah. And then it's got a couple of other accessories to kind of hook on the back to keep it stuck in place and things like that. So
the big thing here is you're saying it's quite different. It's got network connectivity and it will drive a display, right? So I can connect it via Ethernet or Wi-Fi, and I can even set a background image myself if I want to as well.
Yep. So the other port we didn't talk about was Ethernet. So whereas Meetup 1 was not manageable, you had to plug it into a laptop to install the sync applications to upgrade the firmware. This actually has either Wi-Fi or Ethernet connection to connect it to the network, connected to the internet, and more importantly, connected to our sync management platform, which is really cool. So the reason you would do that, obviously, if you want to push firmware and sort of settings for the device, you can do that via sync remotely from wherever you are. It also supports our sync remote UI connectivity, so you actually remotely connect to the device. So why would you want to connect to your BYOD screen? Well, there's reasons for that. You can also, as you said, push digital signage. So Sync supports up to 4 static images. So you can make up a static image that has your QR codes for marketing stuff or something to get help or instructions on how to use it or
branding,
whatever it is, branding, whatever you want, really.
That's where BYOD is so different now as to old school BYOD. So the single cable thing, really big deal for me, like one USB-C. And then the screen's not being dead when I walk in. Like the screen could literally have an image explaining, plug in your laptop and you will have
there's 2 schools of thought there. Obviously, if you want to be green and all that kind of sustainability, then you want your screen to be off and you want a sensor to kind of turn the thing on when you're ready to use it. But you're right. There's not a lot of people that like a dead screen. They want to at least see something.
With managed screens, you can manage on and off as well externally of the BYOD solution.
So even if this is sending a signal or kind of about to send a signal to the screen, and you walk in and the screen wakes up, even that's probably better. But we can actually do a static image from Sync, but it also has an app space mode. So those are the 2 modes that are available now. So BYOD and app space. The difference between the BYOD mode and the app space mode is the digital signage. That's it. So app space doesn't do anything other than for the Meetup than digital signage. But if you know app space, the digital signage is, you can go absolutely ridiculous with some of the widgets and things that are built in. You can also connect app space to your M365 tenant and to your mailbox, ingest all the rooms, sync all the calendars and everything else, and actually build out a room booking panel. So what I've got running on my app space tenant actually pushed to my Meetup 2 at home is the room booking panel that alternates with the marketing video for the Meetup 2, plus local weather and a world clock. And it just alternates that digital signage, which is really cool. Again, not a dead screen.
Yeah.
If I want to see the schedule for the room, that kind of lingers for a little bit longer, and then the other stuff just kind of 8 or 10 seconds.
And this is BYOD. We're going to do a separate video talking about BYOD in Teams, but obviously it's BYOD, so any platform you plug in, you're running it off of your, either you bring in your laptop, or I guess you could run it off a room PC if you wanted to.
It's nothing different than, in that respect, it's nothing different to the Meetup 2 in terms of, you plug in a cable and you borrow the camera, mic, and speakers instead of your laptop camera, your headset, or whatever it is you're going to use. It is for a room. In terms of microphone array, it's the same as the other Logitech solutions. So again, I call it the huddle without the appliance built in. 6 beamforming microphones, or MEMS microphones. Everybody has to kind of mention those sort of things. But effectively, what it gives it is the same as the other solutions, is 7-meter pickup.
Yep.
So
7 meters from the unit.
From the unit itself out to wherever you happen to be sitting. And I've demonstrated way beyond that. In fact, we've got a huddle out there that, again, the same microphone array. I can get 10 meters away, talking at a normal volume, and still pick you up.
Camera-wise, what are we running here?
So it's a Sony sensor. So instead of making our own sensor like we do on other products, it's an upgraded sensor. And 120-degree diagonal field of view.
Awesome.
So,
and you've got the framing and grid view and all the fancy camera smarts you might have seen in other demos. That's running in the unit, so the laptop borrows the AV and gets those.
So it has a chipset just like Huddle and other devices. It runs Android, kind of scaffolding if you like, and Logi Collab OS on the top of that, which means that it runs all of our proprietary AI technology. So right sight, right sound 2, all of those sort of things. So you get group framing, speaker tracking, which is kind of our version of that, and then something called grid view, which just tries to find faces and put them in boxes.
Right, I've lost count. So we've got network connectivity, we've got 2 cable BYOD or 1 cable BYOD, wired and wireless on networking, 6 mics, 7 meters pickup, all the clever group framing, the sync remote control, the display, the app sensing. Quite a powerful
and then we go on to audio. Again, the 7-meter pickup. We've also got a completely rewritten right sound algorithm. So we've rewritten all of the things like noise cancellation, gain control, echo cancellation, all those sort of things. Search for a video that I did on my channel, youtube.com/UCstatus. I roped in my family, gave them all a Logi keyboard, and had them type on the keyboards while I was describing all the features. And then to give it one final test, I picked up a drill and actually put the drill next to my face while I was describing the features. And you'll agree, you can't hear any of those things. And I alternate between the room audio, which was recorded from my phone, and the audio coming from the Meetup. So yeah, I think we're pretty good with audio.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for explaining that. Shipping now as well?
It's shipping now, along with the active cable. Again, this is an accessory on top. I would urge you to buy that.
Awesome. Yeah, check out the website, and obviously Randy's done a load of videos on his channel breaking down the features step by step. So if you want to get into more details, check out Randy's channel as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks a lot.